But Mom Nafiseh and Nafis both had a frown on their faces, and worse than them was Merdad's. They dropped me off in front of my house. I insisted a lot for them to come upstairs, but they refused, saying they were tired. After they left, I went upstairs and told my mom everything in detail. When she saw my dress, her jaw literally dropped. She said, "I never imagined such a beautiful dress even existed in Iran," and she was really happy that I got it for free. She hugged me and said, "What did I give birth to? A daughter this beautiful." After we joked around for a while, I happily went to bed. In the middle of the night, I woke up to the sound of my phone ringing. It was Nafiseh. As soon as I answered, I heard her crying. Between sobs, she said, "Soda, who am I supposed to talk to about my pain?" I calmly said, "What happened? What's going on?" Through her tears, she said, "I had a fight with Merdad. He told me I don't understand anything, that I'm like a child. Just yesterday, he said he liked that about me, that I'm innocent like a kid, and now this. It's all because of his mother." I told him, "Your mom's already trying to ruin things for us. Just wait and see. If we ever get to live happily, you can spit in my face." I told him all this is because of her. If it were before, I would have told Nafiseh that she was wrong to talk like that if you want to make a guy hate you, start bad-mouthing his mother. But this time, I found myself agreeing with her. I said, "Yeah, why would your fight start right after meeting his mom?" Sadly, she said, "See? He doesn't understand. He's so thick-headed. He gets everyone else, but not me. Why were you being so friendly with that woman?" Laughing and chatting like old friends. Half asleep, I crossed my legs and said, "Well, if I hadn't, she would have gotten angry and stormed off." If she left angry, do you think Merdad would have stayed? Softly she said, "No, he wouldn't." I said, "Exactly. So, what was I supposed to do?" I just joked and tried to lighten things up to keep her there. She angrily said she should be ashamed of herself. At her age, wearing a dress like that? Didn't she think it was too young for her? I scratched my elbow and said, "What can I say? She's competing with you, obviously." We talked for a while, and through her sadness and frustration, she said, "He needs to get that woman out of his life. His mom's had a headache and been sulking ever since she came here. Doesn't her mom realize she should advise her daughter, correct her behavior? Why keep people waiting 5 hours just to pick a wedding dress? And in the end, choose the very first one she tried on. Why fight over every little thing? Why didn't her mom ever tell her these things?" After a while, she hung up. That weekend, we were invited to Nafiseh's engagement party. My family was invited too. But just one day before the party, my grandma got really sick. Mom couldn't travel alone by bus or train to the north, so Dad had to drive her. My parents called Nafiseh's parents, apologized a lot, and said they couldn't make it. Then they left for the north. I was alone, so I packed my things and went to Nafiseh's house. I was super excited. We had booked an appointment at a beauty salon together, and we were both so happy. That night, around midnight, we were sitting together on the balcony. Some of her relatives were there too, but Nafiseh and I were alone outside. She said the last message she sent Merdad was at 8 p.m., and now it was midnight, still no reply. "Where the hell has he been?" she muttered angrily, shaking her leg. She'd called him several times, texted too, but no answer. Finally, around 12, Merdad called. Nafiseh quickly picked up and said angrily, "Can I ask where you've been? I texted you at 8. What were you doing that you couldn't answer me the night before our engagement?" Merdad said, "A bunch of relatives came over. I couldn't get to my phone. We were all sitting together talking about tomorrow. Then I went to get your bouquet and arranged with the florist about what time to decorate the car tomorrow. Sweetheart, I swear I wasn't ignoring you. I just got home, I'm exhausted. I want to sleep so I can come pick you up fresh in the morning for the salon." Nafiseh, upset, said, I don't want you to come. Don't bother. I'll go by myself. You haven't cared about me at all lately. Why start now? Murdad sighed in frustration and said, You're impossible to talk to. Through tears, she said, Yeah, I'm impossible. I'm the problem. Murdad snapped, Fine. Tomorrow, just go by yourself, and hung up. I was shocked. I couldn't believe he spoke to her like that. I just stood there quietly, watching everything unfold. I put my hand on Nafiseh's shoulder and said, Nafiseh, don't cry. She sniffled and said, He said he was busy. With tears running down her face, she added, What could he possibly be so busy with? I mean, I've got guests over too, but I can still text back. If he doesn't even want to answer my messages, then why is he marrying me? I tucked my hair behind my ear and said, Honestly, I don't know what to tell you. But stop crying, your eyes will get all puffy tomorrow, and you'll look bad. What can we do? I guess this is our luck. Through sobs, she said, Do you see my luck? Damn this life. Why did I ever think he was a decent guy? He's nothing, absolutely nothing. He's so stingy that they didn't even rent a hall for the engagement. They're doing it in their own garden. Can you believe how cheap they are? That rich status of theirs is fake. I scratched my ear and nose and said, Come on, he owns a garden, doesn't he? That's what people like him use it for, events like this. So, what about the notary? Are they setting up the ceremony there too? She sighed and said, Oh, I didn't tell you that part. Surprised, I said, Tell me what? You didn't say anything. Don't tell me you forgot about the wedding spread. I texted you, remember? I told you if you hadn't arranged one, I'd ask Susan, that girl's sister, to come design it. You said no, so I didn't bring it up again. Oh God, if you forgot, I'll call her now. She grabbed my wrist and said, No, wait. My mom got a call from his mom. They said they decided it's better to have an engagement first, so the families can get to know each other better, and the couple too. Then later, they'll have the actual marriage ceremony and wedding together. So tomorrow's just like an engagement, not a wedding. We won't even exchange rings, they didn't buy one. They bought a presentation ring instead, just for show. I guess I'm officially his fiancé now. Apparently, it's their tradition. My mom was like, Wait, that's not what we agreed on. It was supposed to be the wedding ceremony. And his mom said, Well, that's how it is. Take it or leave it. Can you believe how rude that is? My mom couldn't say anything back. She had already told everyone who I was marrying, so she didn't want to back out and lose face. So we just said okay. There was no choice. I smiled and said, You always make everything sound bigger than it is. Tomorrow you'll be his wife, and he'll invite 100 people anyway. Just one thing. Make sure they include your dowry in the temporary marriage paper, okay? Even if it's a 1-year engagement contract, don't let it be empty. Put something down for your own protection. She nodded quietly. We went to bed. I fell asleep right away, but she couldn't sleep all night. She kept moving and bumping into me, trying to wake me up to talk, but I was too sleepy. No matter how many times she hit my leg, I just went back to sleep. In the morning, we got up in a rush and had a quick breakfast. Nafiseh kept checking her phone, waiting for Murdad to call and say he was on his way. We were supposed to be at the beauty salon by 8. At 7:30, when she still hadn't heard from him, she looked sad and said, Mom, can you get me a taxi? Her mom frowned. A taxi? Why? Isn't Murdad coming to pick you up? Trying to sound casual, Nafiseh said, No, Mom. He's really busy. I told him not to bother driving all the way here just to take me to the salon. Someone from home can drop me off, and if not, I'll just get a taxi. Her mom tried to insist, No, that's not right. But Nafiseh said, Mom, please, not today. Just let it go. Then her aunt jumped in. She's right. It's a long drive from uptown to downtown. The boy's got a lot to do today. You know he's an only child, no brothers to help out. He's probably swamped with preparations. Don't make a big deal out of it." Her aunt turned to her and said, "Sweetheart, I'll tell my son to drive you to the salon." Nafiseh smiled and thanked her. I thought to myself, if only her mom had her aunt's sense, things would be a lot easier. We put on our shoes, waited a few minutes, and her cousin, still half asleep, drove us to the beauty salon and went back home. The salon was far from both Nafiseh's house and Mehrdad's, kind of in between. When we got there, the stylist started working on Nafiseh's hair and makeup. Her dress was strapless. Both the short one and the long gown had the same style. The long one had a sheer tulle overlay on top, but it was still basically strapless. I personally thought she should wear her hair down with a veil, because Mehrdad liked it that way. But Nafiseh wanted her shoulders and neck to show. She asked for her hair to be done up, a simple, elegant European princess-style bun with a crown and veil. The stylist turned to me and said, "What about you?" I said, "Just leave my hair down. Not curly, not straight, just the prettiest blowout you can do. I want it to look shiny and full." My hair was really long, so she got to work. They did my hair and makeup, a soft, elegant, girly look. Honestly, it looked really classy. Then I put on my dress. Nafiseh looked absolutely gorgeous too, truly beautiful, but from what she had told me about Mehrdad, I could tell her style didn't match his taste at all. Mehrdad liked long hair and natural-looking lips, but that dark lipstick she was wearing, while stunning on her, wasn't his thing. In my opinion, a smart woman is the one who knows her husband's taste and dresses accordingly, not just what's trendy. But Nafiseh wanted to be a different kind of bride. And she sure was different and beautiful. She wore a short, princess-style dress. Her hair was tied up in a cute bun, with a small crown and a long veil that flowed past her dress, paired with elegant, doll-like sneakers. I left my hair down, wore my dress with high heels, added as many accessories as I could fit, and then threw on a short jacket so my bare shoulders wouldn't show. I didn't wear a scarf because it would have ruined my hair, and I didn't care about the slit in my dress. I thought, I'll just rush to the car, no one will even notice. Everyone at the salon complimented me, saying how beautiful I looked. I was honestly so happy. I had never gotten this dressed up or spent this much on an outfit before. Usually, when I went to weddings, I wore something simple, since they were always distant relatives. That day, though, I was happy about how I looked, and happy for Nafiseh. We'd been friends for so many years. It almost felt like we were the same person. Seeing her as a bride genuinely made me emotional. We went outside to wait, and then something unexpected happened. When Mehrdad arrived, I was standing by the doorway behind Nafiseh. The photographer and videographer had shown up too, along with the makeup artist and 2 assistants, all cheerful, creative people who seemed genuinely excited to see the couple. When Mehrdad walked in, instead of looking at Nafiseh first, his eyes went straight to me. He stared, wide-eyed, and said in shock, "Suda, is that you? You look so different." Wow, makeup really changed you. To avoid making it awkward or embarrassing Nafiseh, I laughed and said, "All right, don't ruin my reputation. You're acting like I used to be some kind of monster or something." Mehrdad quickly caught himself and said, "No, really, you've changed a lot. Anyway, look at my wife, isn't she beautiful?" He took Nafiseh's hand and spun her around, then followed the videographer's direction to head outside. Once they left, I went to get in the cameraman's car, but Mehrdad insisted, "No, come sit in the back with us. The studio's not far. Come on, just ride with us." He insisted so much that it would have been rude to say no. He even said it in front of Nafiseh, who looked tense and forced a smile, saying in an awkward voice, "Yeah, Suda, come sit with us." So I got in the car. The cameraman followed behind in his own car. As we drove to the photo studio, I said, "Hey, why don't you play some music?" It's your engagement day, at least record a fun video or something, Nafiseh. With tears in her voice, Nafiseh said, I don't want anything. He didn't even come to pick me up this morning. He didn't text, didn't call. I thought maybe he'd message me, ask how I looked after makeup. He wasn't even curious. You really hurt me today, Merdad. Out of spite, I even tied my hair up just because you said you liked it down. Merdad smirked and said, I told you 100 times that I like your hair down. I told you I don't like heavy makeup. I wanted today to be our day. But no, you had to do the opposite of everything I said, just to get under my skin. Well, congratulations you did. What now? What do you want me to do, Nafiseh? Should I turn around and take you back to your father's house if you think marrying me is such a mistake? At that point, I couldn't stay quiet anymore. I leaned forward between the seats and said softly, Hey, what's wrong with you two? Seriously, this isn't like either of you. Merdad, I never thought you even knew how to talk like that. What's with the insults? Nafiseh, on the verge of tears, said, See how rude he is? I quickly said, Nafis, he's not being rude, he's just under pressure. He's been through a lot today. Let's just forget the tension from this morning, okay? Smile at each other. You'll regret it later if you fight on such a beautiful day. Then I turned to Merdad and added, She's right, though, you could have at least called her. You know, there was another bride at the salon, and her husband called her twice while we were there. I saw how Nafiseh looked when she noticed that. Merdad snapped angrily, What? Now I have to explain myself for everything? I took my mom to the beauty salon this morning. Before he could continue, Nafiseh started yelling, Oh, so you took your mom to the salon but not me? Really? Who's your priority here, Merdad? The fight escalated so fast, I was honestly shocked. I had never seen such a fight before. I leaned back in my seat, just trying to avoid getting hit by accident while they screamed at each other. Nafiseh slammed her bouquet against the dashboard and steering wheel so hard that it basically fell apart. She was crying, her makeup smudged, and finally, we had to pull over on the side of the road. For Merdad, it was humiliating. He had invited so many guests, arranged everything from noon till night, and now this scene? His reputation was on the line. For Nafiseh, it was just as painful. She knew she'd lose face too, and she also knew she might never find another guy like Merdad. Eventually, both calmed down a bit. I focused on soothing Nafiseh first. I helped her sit back in the car and said softly, Don't cry. There are hundreds of people waiting for you. For all you know, one of your exes might be there watching just to see you as a bride. Don't give them the satisfaction. You look beautiful, Nafis, really. Don't ruin it by crying. Once she settled down, I stepped out and walked over to Merdad, who was leaning against the back of the car, staring off in frustration. I went up to him and said, Merdad, you've always been a calm, kind guy. Don't let this ruin your day. She's just emotional. She's so attached to you now. Honestly, she wasn't like this before. We grew up together, I know her. She used to never care who texted her or didn't. She's just gotten too attached, that's all. He sighed bitterly and said, Yeah, well, it's too much. She's suffocating me. At first, I thought she was sweet, the kind of girl I wanted. But now, she's exhausting me. The way he looked at me for that moment made my heart tighten for reasons I didn't understand. I said quietly, You're right, I get it. She hasn't been acting right lately. But you can't throw everything away now. There was real love between you two. That's what brought you this far. Don't let anger make you forget that. Come on, just get in the car. Don't talk to each other for now, okay? If you do, you'll just start another fight. I'll put on some music until we get to the studio. We've already been parked here 15 minutes. People are starting to stare. Suddenly, a guy passing by made a rude comment toward me, and Merdad exploded, shouting at him furiously. Then he turned back to me and said, What the hell are you wearing? You've got everything hanging out like that. I quickly grabbed the slit of my dress with my hand and said, You're right, I'm sorry. I really didn't think it through. I thought I'd just get in the car, go to the studio, then head straight to the garden. I didn't realize I'd be standing on the street. You're right, I should have covered up better. He froze for a moment, then said, "See, that's exactly the reaction I wish I could get from Nafiseh. Just once, I wish she'd respond like that, admit when I'm right instead of throwing a fit. Maybe I'm wrong sometimes, fine. But can't she just once agree with me like you just did? You said, you're right, you apologized, and then explained yourself calmly. You didn't yell, you didn't mock me. Why can't she be like that? She just wears me out. I wish you'd talk to her, really talk to her. Tell her to stop acting like this stuff. I wish she could learn a little from you." If I'd said the same thing to her, she'd scream, "None of your business." But you didn't do that. You stayed calm. I tucked my hair behind my shoulder and said softly, "What can I say? I'm not the kind of person who snaps at someone who means well. Come on, don't get yourself worked up again. It's your big day." He muttered bitterly, "You've just ruined my day," then got into the car. I got in too. None of us said a word on the way. I just played some music, trying to fill the silence. When we reached the photo studio, the photographer made them pose together, and eventually, they had no choice but to reconcile. They smiled, laughed, and made up. I clapped and cheered for them, even took a few photos myself. In one shot, Nafiseh was posing alone, and Mehrdad suddenly jumped into the frame, goofing around, but right then, the flash went off. The result was an unplanned but perfect photo, a candid, lively picture of them both smiling, as if none of the earlier chaos had ever happened. When we got to the garden, it was super crowded, and because of the beautiful dress I was wearing, I kind of stood out. There were a lot of classy people there, doctors, engineers, and you could just tell they had money. Out of all the tables, maybe 3 or 4 didn't smell like money. Those were Nafiseh's relatives. Everyone else looked rich and polished. Anyway, the party started, music, dancing, everyone laughing and having a great time. Nafiseh and Mehrdad exchanged rings, and the temporary marriage ceremony was performed. I think her dowry was set at 50 gold coins for now, until the official wedding when they'd decide the full amount. Mehrdad's dad was such a respectable man. He said it was up to Mehrdad to decide, but he personally thought a 6-month engagement period was best, that during those 6 months, Mehrdad should decide whether to go through with the marriage or not. Then, in front of everyone, he said, "Honestly, I love my wife to death. I wouldn't trade a single hair on her head for the whole world. But if, in the beginning of our marriage, we'd had a long engagement, like 2 or 3 years, I probably would have left her 10 times over every little argument. Marriage forces you to compromise, to make peace with things." Everyone laughed, and Mehrdad smiled too. He didn't go against his father's word, and so the 6-month engagement contract was signed. They had an amazing DJ that night, and I danced a couple of times myself. I felt a bit lonely though. Nafiseh's relatives didn't really talk to me much. Mehrdad's mom was much warmer, so I mostly stayed by her side. The rest of the time, I just sat quietly, watching. Then came the knife dance. I honestly thought Nafiseh would give the knife to her younger sister. She's still in high school, but to my surprise, she handed it to me. She said I'd been by her side through every stage of her life, and she wanted me with her now too. I got emotional, hugged her tight, then started dancing. During the whole dance, I could feel Mehrdad's eyes on me. His gaze was intense, locked in. So I tried to make sure I looked my best, moved gracefully, and kept everyone's attention on me. I mean, I was still a young woman, of course I wanted to find someone, and honestly, this was the perfect place for it. When Mehrdad came to give me shabash, the money gift, Nafiseh was standing a bit in front of him. I was moving the knife up and down, pretending not to take the money. Then he said, half jokingly, "You're already too pretty. Stop playing hard to get. That hit me weird. My mood just dropped. I quickly handed the knife to him, took the money, smiled faintly, and left the dance floor to stand off to the side. The engagement party went on, and eventually it ended. I didn't see Nafiseh for about 2 weeks after that. I texted her once or twice. One time she said she was on a short trip with Murdad, so I didn't bother her again. Another time she said she was back, but exhausted and catching up on stuff. So I let her be. At that same party, Murdad's cousin had secretly given me his number. I hadn't called him, but I still had it saved. Anyway, 2 weeks passed. I was on my way to university, and I hadn't seen Nafiseh or Murdad during that time. Suddenly, I got a text from an unknown number. I opened it. It was from Murdad. He wrote, "Hey, how are you? Can we talk today?" I immediately replied, "Hey, I'm good." "What's wrong?" he said. "I'm not feeling well. I need to talk to you." I told him I was free anytime except between 2 and 4 because I had class. He said that was fine. The whole class I couldn't focus at all. Before leaving, I borrowed a little tint from one of my classmates, dabbed it on my cheeks, fixed my hair, and braided the front so it wouldn't look like I'd put too much effort in. I sprayed on my perfume, made sure I looked neat, not too much, not too little. At exactly 4 p.m., he texted again. "I'm waiting outside the university." I walked out and saw him in his car. He gave me a faint, tired smile. I smiled back and got in. I asked, "Where's Nafiseh?" He didn't answer. Nafiseh had told me before that whenever Murdad ignored her, she'd ask why, and he'd just say, "I'm in a bad mood. I need some space. I'll talk later." But Nafiseh never accepted that. She'd get upset and say, "If you don't want to talk to me, that means you don't love me." Remembering that, I just went quiet. I didn't ask again where she was or what he wanted. I leaned back in the seat, looked out the window. A Shadmer song was playing softly. It was late winter, cold outside, and the sky was heavy and gray. We drove down a quiet road lined with trees, almost deserted. Then he lowered the music and said suddenly, "Soda, I think I made a mistake. I think I rushed everything. The more time passes, the more I realize I was wrong. Nafiseh isn't the one for me. I don't love her. She doesn't sit right with me. I'm so tired of her that last night I told her we haven't even been intimate yet. Let's just call off the engagement," he said. "You go your way, I'll go mine." Then he sighed deeply. "But every time I try, she says if I do that, she'll end her life. I'm trapped, Soda. I can't take it anymore. I don't even know what to do. She's making me sick." He ran a hand through his hair and kept talking, like he'd been waiting forever to get this off his chest. After we got engaged, I told her we should go on a short trip. I said, "Let's go to the north, by the sea." She said no. Said she's sick of the north because her grandma lives there, and they go all the time. I told her, "Come on, we can't exactly hop on a plane to Paris. The north is beautiful in winter, the sea, the forests. We can light a fire. It'll be nice." She finally agreed. He laughed bitterly. Soda, from the second she got in the car till the moment I dropped her off at her house, we didn't stop fighting. The entire trip was just yelling, arguing, and swearing. Before her, I swear I never even used bad words. Now I curse every day. She's messed up my peace of mind completely. He paused, staring blankly at the road. But you know what's worse? After all that, when I finally dropped her off, I felt calm. For the first time in days, my head was quiet. I went home, fell asleep. The next morning, I woke up to 1,000 messages. "Why didn't you reply last night?" Over and over again. She's obsessed with texting. I'm so tired of messages, Soda. I feel nauseous every time my phone buzzes. I don't even want anyone to text me anymore. Can you believe that? I couldn't help but smile a little, but I lowered my head and said softly, I understand what you mean. I really do. But your problems sound small, honestly. He suddenly pulled the car over and said sharply, they're not small. These are the kinds of problems that only get worse. We're just not compatible in any way. You know what? 2 minutes before you got in my car today, I was on the phone fighting with her again. That's why I was quiet. I didn't even know how to start talking to you. The traffic was crazy, students everywhere. I can't talk and drive at the same time. I'm just not built that way. But when we got on this empty road, I started talking and you understood me. You didn't interrupt. You realized I was upset and gave me space. She's never once done that. He gripped the steering wheel tighter. After 6 months together, she still hasn't figured out that when I'm quiet, I just need a moment. She keeps poking my arm, yelling, why are you silent? You must not love me anymore. It drives me insane. She's made me so crazy that I actually hit her once. My eyes went wide. I couldn't believe it. You hit her, I said, shocked. Murdad, that's not you. That's not the man I know. You're the kind of person who's so calm and respectful that I feel safe just sitting in your car. What happened to you? What could push you that far? He leaned back, rubbed his face, and muttered bitterly. Nafiseh happened. I don't want her anymore. I really don't. But she keeps saying if I leave, she'll kill herself. I even told my mom, and she just said, well, if she does, that's her problem. He turned to me suddenly. You're her best friend. Please, talk to her. Tell her to stop this childish nonsense. Even if she changes, I still don't want her anymore. She's promised me 100 times that she'll get better, but nothing ever changes. I'm done. Tell her to keep everything I gave her, the ring, the gold necklace, the new phone, everything. It's all hers. I don't care. I don't want anything back. She can go marry whoever she wants. I'm finished with her. I tucked my hair behind my ear and said quietly, why are you telling me all this? I'm not her mom or dad. You should be telling them. He shrugged. I don't want to talk to that uncultured family anymore. I've said everything I needed to say. My parents can deal with them if they want. I'm done, Soda. I'm completely drained. He said, want to go for a little drive? I'll bring you back home after. I quietly said, yeah, sure. I'd already taken off my scarf and jacket. It was really warm in the car. I sat with my knees pulled up to my chest, singing loudly along with the music. We sang, laughed, and enjoyed the empty road. He stopped by a little roadside place selling ash and tea. We got out and started throwing leftover snow from the mountains at each other while we waited for our ash to be ready. After we ate, we each grabbed a hot cup of tea to warm up. I tossed a few more snowballs at him while sipping, and suddenly he came up from behind, wrapped his arms around me, and held my hands in his. His hands were so warm that I looked at him, surprised. You threw snow too, so why are your hands so warm? I asked. He smiled softly. My hands are always warm. Yours are always cold. Every time I look at them, they're all red. Give them to me. Let me warm them up. I froze for a moment, embarrassed. He rubbed my hands gently, then lifted them to his mouth, breathed warm air on them, and said, you'll catch a cold. Let's go. It's getting late for you. I smiled and got in the car. Everything felt perfect, his scent, his voice, him. He didn't want Nafiseh anymore. He was the one who said it first. He didn't want her. We drove back. He dropped me off in front of my house. But when I went upstairs, I saw Nafiseh sitting on my bed. My heart skipped a beat. I was scared she might have seen me with Murdad through the car window. But when she suddenly threw herself into my arms crying, I realized she hadn't seen anything. Through her tears, she said, I love him so much that even when I hug you, I imagine you smell like him. A tear rolled down my cheek. What kind of mess was I in? I wished I had never met Murdad. I wasn't Nafiseh's enemy. I'd always wanted what was best for her. I'd loved her like a sister since we were kids. So why did this have to happen? Why did I have to like him? Softly I asked, "What happened, sweetheart? Tell me. Why are you like this? Why are you so sad since you got engaged?" Still crying, she said, "He told me he doesn't want me anymore. He said he made a mistake, rushed into it. I always knew it, I could feel it. I kept asking him to talk to me, to pay attention so this feeling would go away, but it didn't. Turns out it was real. He left me. He told me today he really doesn't want me." I said gently, "So what? Let him go. Why act like he's the only man in the world? Any guy who insults you on your engagement day and breaks you down like this, he's not worth it. You've made him into something big in your head. Where's the Nafiseh whose laughter filled every room? Ever since that stupid topic came up, you've been so depressed. What changed?" Through sobs, she said, "I don't know. But you're right. If he doesn't want me, then to hell with him." I told Mom, and she said the same. She said, "We won't lose our honor over him. If he doesn't want you, let him go. Your happiness matters more. He's not even that great. He's full of himself." She said I should marry someone more down-to-earth and kind, not someone who acts like he's above everyone else. She's right. What did his money ever do for me? Still angry, I handed her phone back to her. "Then text him," I said. "Tell him it's over. Then forget him however you can. You've got tons of admirers at university. He's not the only one. Honestly, even when you walk down the street, guys turn to look at you. Why waste your tears over this one?" She wiped her tears and smiled weakly. "You always cheer me up." "Thank you. Give me your phone." She took my phone, opened their chat, and typed, "It's over. Even if you wanted me back, I wouldn't come. You've fallen out of my heart, just like you fell out of my eyes." I expected Murdad to stay silent, or maybe try to fix things. But right after she sent it, he replied, "Thank God. Goodbye forever." My eyes widened in shock. I couldn't believe it. "Seriously?" I said. "He didn't even ask for another chance? Just like that? That's it?" She wiped her tears again. "You're right. From now on, I won't care. But I know one day he'll come back to me." She cried a little more, then left. I lay down on the bed, opened my phone, and saw a new message. It was from Murdad. "Hey, how are you? Didn't catch a cold, did you?" The same guy who'd ignored messages for hours, the one who said he hated texting, was suddenly messaging me. Of course, I didn't reply right away. I took a shower, watched a movie, ate dinner, tried to distract myself. Late at night, I finally wrote back. "Hi. Today was really nice. I hope you and Nafiseh sort things out soon. And just so you know, I didn't get sick. I hope you didn't catch a cold either. Thanks for everything, good night." I didn't let that chat go any further. I replied really late, and even then, my message ended with a full stop, a message that made it impossible for him to continue. Since he was a proud and reserved guy, he didn't reply. But the next morning he texted, "Good morning. Are you coming to university today?" I said, "Yeah, I am." Then he wrote, "One of my mom's friends invited me to a theater tonight. Do you want to come with me?" "I don't want to go alone." I replied, "I don't think that's a good idea. Nafiseh probably wouldn't like it." He immediately answered, "There's nothing between me and Nafiseh anymore. Our parents talked last night and decided it's best to call off the engagement." She texted me right around the time I dropped you off, saying it's over. I said goodbye too. There's nothing left that could bother her. "So, are you coming or not?" I wrote back, "I'll come." I got myself ready as best I could, and we went to the theater together. It was amazing, the kind of night you imagine in your wildest romantic dreams. Walking side by side, talking, laughing, his voice was beautiful. During parts of the play he liked, He softly sang along, and I loved listening to him. On the drive back, we played music and sang together in the car. After that, going out together became a routine. Every day we saw each other. Every day we made plans. Every day we created memories somewhere in the city. I kept tabs on Nafiseh. She and Merdad were both still at university, but he'd stopped hanging out with her completely. After classes, he'd go straight home. Nafiseh expected him to text or ask her out, but he never did. He'd say, "I'm at the gym," or "I'm busy," or "I'm out somewhere." During all the times I was out with Merdad, I realized he had never taken Nafiseh to those places, only me. I'd learned a lot about him by then. He was the type who'd been raised to be focused and disciplined. For example, after we'd hang out, I'd go home, wash my face, and lie around tired, but I knew that he'd be at the gym, then head to his dad's dental clinic to help out, and if his mom was working a hospital shift, he and his dad would head home together. In the mornings, he'd study for a few hours, then go to work with his dad, then to university, and then maybe we'd meet up again. He wasn't lazy, far from it. He was a one-track-minded, goal-oriented person. Sometimes he just needed to be alone, didn't even want to talk. For example, when watching a movie, he hated being interrupted or checking his phone. But then other times, he'd text first, chat for a while, and I understood that. That was something Nafiseh never did. I had grown distant from Nafiseh. The more time I spent with Merdad, the farther I drifted from her, even though I saw her almost every day. And the closer I got to him. Every day, we got to know each other more deeply. Then, about a month later, it was under a tree, around the 4th day of the new year. The city was empty. Everyone had gone on vacation. My parents were up north. They'd left me home alone because they were supposed to go visit relatives for 2 days, then come back, and afterward we were all going to fly to Kish Island to visit my brother. They said, "You stay and rest. We don't want you tired from all the driving." Honestly, I was happy to stay. That day, Merdad and I were out together. I was leaning against a tree covered in blossoms, insisting he take better photos of me, but he was terrible at it. I was complaining. "Look, stand like this, okay? You shouldn't be straight on. I need you at a slight angle, not full profile, just a bit. You keep taking them head on." I said a bit sideways. "Ugh, like this. I want to post it on Instagram, so make it good." Merdad was holding the camera. I had my hair tucked behind one ear, staring right into the lens, trying to make my eyes look captivating, and suddenly he lowered the camera, grabbed me, pushed me gently against the tree, and kissed me. That was the first time he kissed me, and I didn't resist. I felt like I truly loved him, like I was falling hard. After Nowruz, in the middle of spring, our relationship wasn't just friends anymore. It had become something real, boyfriend and girlfriend. One day, Nafiseh texted me, "You heartless thing, couldn't you even check in on me? Your friend's sad and you don't even ask how she is." I quickly replied, "I wanted to give you space, but you've been on my mind the whole time. What's up? What are you doing? Why so sad?" She replied, "Nothing. I've pulled myself together, found my balance. I needed to be alone. I even took a leave for this term. I won't come to university next semester. In spring and summer, I want to go visit my aunt. If not, I'll go to another city to change my mood a little. I'm not feeling well, but I'll come back afterward." I replied, feeling really guilty that she wasn't feeling okay. She wrote back, "It's not because of Merdad or that whole situation. I'm not feeling well because my life has gone up and down a bit. I've suddenly experienced a lot of things. I just want to be a little distant, otherwise, I'm fine." I wrote, "Good. Thank God. You've completely forgotten Merdad." She replied, "Yeah, completely forgotten him." Then, suddenly she messaged again, "Soda, I really miss you. Before I leave, Can we see each other? I wrote, yes, we can. When can you come? She said, I'm leaving tomorrow. Can you come see me now? I felt too guilty to actually go see her. I just couldn't look into her sad eyes. We had shared so much, so many memories. I wrote back, tomorrow you'll be gone. I'll be in the north. I thought I'd see you, but I guess we won't be able to meet. She sent a smiling sticker and said, it's okay. I only messaged her so she wouldn't feel I left without saying goodbye. Take care of yourself. If one day you're in a relationship with someone, be careful. Don't fall blindly in love like I did. In my heart, I thought, you're saying this too late. I've already walked in your footsteps. We said goodbye, and I tried not to think about her. It was the end of the term, and we decided that after my exams, we would get engaged. I told my mom everything, who her dad was, how we had fallen in love. She opposed the engagement. Don't marry him. A boy who hasn't been loyal to her won't be loyal to you either. Stay away. He's not the right person for you. But I told her, Mom, I'm in love. I can't live without him. Even if there's a risk, I need to be with him. I've already gone so far emotionally. Whether I go with him or not, I've invested too much. At least if I'm with him, he might be a good person. He's not a bad guy. Nafiseh wasn't exactly normal either. Mom asked, what can I say? Aren't you ashamed in front of your friend? I replied, yes, I am embarrassed, but I've cut ties with her. That was our final goodbye. She hasn't messaged me like before. We're not constantly talking anymore. Mom shrugged and said, what can I say? Do what you think is right. You're no longer a teenager. You're 23, mature and sensible. If you think this is the right decision, your dad and I support you. Maybe he wasn't happy with Nafiseh, but he could be happy with you. But I can't let this engagement be public. Only the two families should know and meet each other. Give it a year. By then, your university studies will be over, and you can focus on your engagement. I laughed, hugged her, and cried a little. I was happy she understood me. Meanwhile, Nafiseh still annoyed me. Murdad's family came to our house. Unlike Nafiseh's mom, who was unstrategic and had started a rivalry with my mom from the start, my mom was cheerful, friendly, and very funny. She had long conversations with Murdad's mom and then suggested that they both go north together as singles. They spent the evening having fun without any men around, talking so much that our engagement and marriage weren't even mentioned. Our dads talked, our moms talked, and we two sat together chatting. That night felt really cozy, like our families had known each other for years. From the next day, our relationship started. Murdad occasionally came to our house. We were invited to theirs. We went out together, and our moms even took a week-long trip up north alone. Our relationship was healthy and warm. During that time, I never saw my mom upset saying, Murdad's mom did this, and it made me angry, nor did Murdad say, your family did this and upset mine. We just had a sincere and close bond. Then Murdad said he couldn't wait any longer. Why should we be apart? I couldn't wait either. I wanted to travel together, spend nights in the same place, watch movies together. Just seeing each other a few hours a day was frustrating for both of us. In his previous relationship, his partner had demanded attention, but in this one, it was reversed. He wanted attention. He wanted us to get married as soon as possible. Murdad was inherently a marriage-minded person. He said, pick someone, live your life with them, raise kids. Life has ups and downs. You can be with someone today, another tomorrow. He insisted so much that we had to marry. He insisted so much that we decided to get engaged. Everything was prepared for me, the wedding dress, the salon, the hall, everything. Yet I couldn't feel completely happy because Nafiseh's face kept lingering in my mind. It was late summer, and she was supposed to return soon. I was stressed thinking about Nafiseh and noticed my mom was upset. I asked why, and she said my brother, Sohail, couldn't come to my wedding. It's the end of summer, Kish is crowded. He can't leave his business to come. Mom angrily said, "What kind of person are you? You won't even come to your sister's wedding? You don't consider us family." He had always been cold since childhood. No matter how much my parents cared, he remained distant, and years of separation had made him even colder. I called him, asking why he wouldn't come. He angrily said, "Why should I come when you married your close friend? What should I see, Soda?" I was taken aback and gently said, "Who told you that?" He smirked and said, "Nafiseh, who's so unwell that I pity her. You've been friends with her all these years, and then you went to another guy." I wiped my tears and said, "So he found out?" He smirked again and said, "The fool hasn't noticed. You posted your photos with him." I frowned and said, "I didn't post them." He angrily said, "You didn't post them, but your husband did. And some university kids told him you two are together." He found out, and it really upset him. I was a little helpless. I realized that after the breakup, Murdad and I were okay. I thought maybe another girl could have been okay with him. He smirked and said, "Don't even think about it. There wasn't another boy. Don't cling to your ex-best friend. I have nothing to say to you. You've fallen from my eyes. Don't call me again." I cried, saying, "I've never had anyone. I'm still alone. They have so many relatives. It's okay if they don't come to the wedding, but now you won't come either. After all these years, you didn't even know me. What else can I say? Judge me however you want. Don't come to my wedding. I'm so naive that I called to convince you to come. I should have been angry that you wouldn't come, but my heart is pure, so I'm just simple." I hung up the phone with trembling hands, knowing he couldn't resist and wouldn't stay away. He knew Nafiseh had found out. I felt both guilty and slightly relieved. At least I knew nothing serious had happened. That night, everything went perfectly. My brother Sohail came. Everything was wonderful, my appearance, his, the love in his eyes, and our married life began without me even bringing a single trousseau item. We didn't bring anything, nor did anyone expect us to. At first, we were supposed to live in a separate house, but his house was so big that I said we could live there, and he agreed. I set up my things in the large room that belonged to Murdad, and my new life started there. Everything in my life was fine. No one insulted me, no one bothered me, no one pried into my affairs, and Murdad never mistreated me. They were respectable people, and I had learned how to cook vivishka from my mother. I did my best and learned it properly and professionally. I made it for them twice a week. That was the only thing I did for them as a wife. They handled the rest. They even made lunch and dinner. I only made vivishka twice a week. I had a good, normal life, and I tried as much as possible not to let any resentment form between us. If there was something he didn't like, I tried to be according to his wishes, and he would do the same for me when I was upset. We were living on a very straight, even line. For months into our marriage, my mother called me crying and said, "God damn Sohail." She told me he called and said he was getting married. We were happy, thought things would be settled with him getting married. Then she said, "Who is he marrying?" "A girl from the south." He said, "I'm marrying Nafiseh." We cursed him. How could he do that? When your daughter did something like that, it wasn't shameful, but now that I want to do the same, it's shameful. Nothing we do is straightforward with him. He said, "If you don't go ask for her hand, I will. I'll even remove your name from the registry. I'll pretend I have no parents." I wiped my tears and told my mom, "Fine, go ask. Maybe they love each other. Go see what happens. Isn't it your duty as parents to go?" I pushed her, "Come on, don't be afraid. Are you scared Nafiseh will ruin my life?" She said, "No, nothing like that will happen." When I told Murdad about this, apparently something was happening. At first he was surprised, but then he shrugged and said, "Why should it matter to us? God willing, they'll both be happy." My brother married Nafiseh. I knew she was a good girl, but she had some spoiled habits, and from time to time I heard from my mom that they quarreled over those things. Mehrdad and I had one child, a little daughter who'd just been born. They live in Kish, and we live here. Occasionally we see each other at family gatherings. We had to be around one another. Mehrdad acted completely normal, but whenever I looked at Nafiseh, I always saw a longing and love for Mehrdad hidden in her eyes, something she'd hidden because of Sohail's presence. I'm very sorry about what happened, but I told my life story plainly and without lies so it could be a lesson for girls who tell everything to their best friends. Maybe if Nafiseh hadn't shared every tiny detail with me, I wouldn't have known so well what her husband liked and didn't like. Every life story has a lesson. I never intended to ruin their life. I may have shown off sometimes, but I never deliberately wanted to destroy their marriage. They themselves fell out at first. They couldn't get along, and then I happened to appear in the middle. Sometimes I worry that my actions will come back to bite me, but then I tell myself, what actions? You would have been happy with him, and he with you. There were problems, but you fixed many of them. Now 7 years have passed, and I have a good life. Pray that it stays this way. My mother gives me news about them. They are happy together, joyful. Sohail is very attentive to Nafiseh. He's not the type to ignore her. He gives her the attention she always wanted. Ever since childhood, Sohail paid attention to every little thing, her clothes, her messages, her comings and goings. Even his jealous fits are part of him. That's exactly what Nafiseh wanted. My husband, however, is not like that. Even with a child, sometimes he disappears half a day. I know he's gone off with a friend to some nearby woods or to fix something, and he forgets the whole world. That's his nature. You can't change everyone. The important thing is which personality you can live with. So that's my life story. I hope you enjoyed it. Dear friends, that's tonight's story. I hope you liked it. I want to tell you that you might notice the narrator could have been much darker. She could have been more malicious, more of a home ruiner. Yes, he lost his wife because of this, but she could have plotted more schemes. She could have done worse. In my view, a friendly relationship with a best friend is good. We all need close friends, but we must learn personal boundaries. Everyone has private spaces that, if someone else invades, bad things can happen. Anyway, I love you all. Take care of yourselves. If you can, like this video and leave me a comment, and leave a comment for the narrator too. I love you. Goodbye.